Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have a foundation showdown for you. I recently was watching one of my favorite YouTubers ever, Amy Macedo here on YouTube, and she did a like your favorite or dupes for your favorite high-end products kind of video, and she mentioned that the Maybelline Matte and Poreless was a really great alternative for the Fenty foundation, the ProFilt'r foundation, and it kind of just made me really intrigued to want to test them out. Once she kind of said that, it kind of just sparked something in me that was like, you know what, like you guys know the Maybelline Matte and Poreless has been a favorite of mine for a while, for a really long time. This is like my 7th tube of this, and that the Fenty Beauty one is a current favorite. It kind of made me think like, wow, like those are kind of similar and kind of perform the same when I put them on my skin. Let me put it to the test so I'm not wondering, and why not just make a video for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are really interested in the Fenty Beauty foundation, whether you can't get your hands on it, can't afford it, because I know it is a really pricey foundation. I thought like if this Maybelline Matte and Poreless was a great alternative, that it would help a lot of you guys out and you wouldn't even have to spend the money on the Fenty one. So that is what we're going to be doing today. I have both of the foundations on my face right now. If you guys want to pause the video really quick and take a guess as to what foundation is on which side, I think that would be really cool. So here are both sides. Let me know which one you think is the high-end side and what you think is the drugstore side. I think that really be fun. So definitely take a second to leave me a comment down below on which you think is what. I'm going to be walking you guys through a demo, kind of how they perform. We're going to be doing check-ins and all that good stuff. But before I get started into the actual demo and getting into the wear test and stuff like that, I'm just going to be giving you guys some basics like I always do when I do any type of review video. So like I said, Fenty Beauty versus the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. The Fenty Beauty one retails for $34 on Fenty Beauty, Sephora, anywhere where you could get high-end makeup. I believe that this is available. And the Matte and Poreless, this is going to be around $5.99, $6.99, maybe highest $7 or $8 if you go to more of like a prestige drugstore like Ulta or Walgreens or something like that. You can definitely get this for very cheap, like $5.99 or $6.99 at a Target or Walmart. So definitely a huge fraction of the price of the Fenty. So that was another huge reason why I was really excited to test it out. The shade that I'm going to be using in the Fenty Soft Matte ProFilt'r is in 190, and this is described as a light medium with neutral undertones. And then the Matte and Poreless is in 120 Classic Ivory, and I would describe this as a light shade with neutral undertones. The foundations are very, very similar in the amount of product you're getting. You are getting a little bit more in the Fenty, 1.08 fluid ounces, and then in the Matte and Poreless, you are just getting 1 fluid ounce. So not bad. This one has a little bit more, but you're still getting the majority of that amount of foundation for so much less of the price. Both of these foundations do claim to have matte formulas, poreless formulas, as well as like a shine-free airbrushed kind of look to them. The Fenty foundation obviously comes in 40 foundation shades. You guys know that like totally broke the internet, but now that I'm looking at it, the Maybelline Matte and Poreless does have 40 shades now as well, which I think is totally awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop rambling so we can get on into the demo and the wear test and everything like that. If I missed anything in this video, or if you guys have any questions about these foundations, please let me know down below, because I would love to answer any questions and kind of clarify anything for you guys. But without further ado, let's just get on into this foundation showdown between Rihanna's Fenty Beauty foundation and Maybelline's Matte and Poreless. Okay, so getting on into the demo portion where I'm actually gonna be applying the foundations to my face, I'm gonna be applying the Matte and Poreless on the left side of my face, which is your guys' right, and then on the right side of my face I'm going to be putting the Fenty. But I just want to mention that I do have my face primed exactly the same on both sides. I use my Smashbox primer water, the Too Faced Hangover RX spray, just spray it all over my face. I let that kind of sink in and dry, and then once that was all dry, I use the Fenty ProFilt'r primer all over my face, as well as the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. So both sides are primed equally. I'm going to be using separate brushes, but brushes that I know kind of perform pretty similar when it comes to the application and stuff like that. I really want to have like a fair base, the fair brushes, everything like that, so we can really see like that if something goes wrong or if something's lesser than the other one, that it is actually the foundation and not anything messing with it, if you guys know what I mean. So for the application, I'm going to be using the Morphe E6 because this is already like pretty dirty with the Matte and Poreless. I will just use the same exact brush for that, so I don't like contaminate this brush on the Fenty side or anything like that. I usually just like to shake this out onto my finger, and we're going to be doing exactly half of the face, but this does dry really fast, so I'm going to just be working in a little section at a time. And now taking my brush, like I mentioned, I'm just going to be blending this in how I normally would. I would definitely say that this has medium to buildable coverage. I never really like to build it up to super full coverage because it is more of a powdery finish, and I just think it would get a little bit cakey. I don't want to block you guys with the mirror, I'm sorry. So I usually just do one layer of this, maybe take a couple extra dots on any spots that I need it, but I really think that this has a really nice medium coverage on its own. It's really hard to be like evenly down the center here. That's okay. A little bit of this foundation definitely goes a really long way. I don't think that you need to use a ton of this product at all. I just think it spreads out really nicely. And then I'm just gonna go in with a quick second layer on the cheek, just because I feel like my cheek is my problem area, but I will go in with a second layer on the Fenty side as well to make sure it's even, if it needs it. So that is the matte and poreless all applied. There's nothing on this side of my face yet, but this side has the matte and poreless. As you can see, it's definitely just like a nice medium coverage. It's not crazy full coverage. It's not like a super foundation looking foundation, but it really evens out the skin. As you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I use this foundation all the time and it's definitely my favorite. So that is that side done, and now we're going to be going on to apply the Fenty foundation. The Fenty foundation does say to shake well. Oh, actually I did want to compare the consistencies, so let me just pump a little bit of the Fenty out as well as put some of the matte and poreless on my hand, so you guys can see the consistencies. So here are the foundations. This is the Fenty one and this is the matte and poreless. As you can see, the Fenty one is more liquidy. I believe it's just a little bit more water-based, because this one is a pretty thin foundation and it does slightly run, but it just doesn't run as much as the Fenty. So in comparison of formula, in like texture and stuff like that, they're definitely both liquid, but the Fenty is definitely more watery and runny at the same time. And as far as the colors go, I would definitely say that the matte and poreless 120 is a little bit more neutral compared to the 190 from Fenty. Is supposed to be like a light medium neutral, but I think it leans a little bit more on the warm side, and I also think it is maybe just like a half a shade darker. For the Fenty foundation, again, I like to work in smaller sections because it is a fast drying foundation. And I am going to be using the brush that it comes with, just because I feel like this brush and like the Morphe brush kind of apply the products the same, that it's not really going to make a huge difference. And I wanted to make sure to use clean and separate brushes so like the product didn't get on the side of the face. So I'm just going to start applying this on the right side of my face. And then just like I did on the left side of my face, I'm just gonna be taking a little bit more on the Fenty side just to even everything out, because I do feel like the coverage of these products are the same. On initial application, the Fenty, like when you paint it on your face, does look like it's gonna be more coverage, but after you spread it out, I do feel like it tends to lose some coverage, and it's like a solid medium coverage. I don't think that the Fenty layers as well. I think it gets cakey and drier looking just a little bit faster when you do some layering with it, but nothing that can't be fixed with some Fix Plus or anything like that. So I actually think that that's it. I think we have both of the foundations all applied, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in even closer so we can do like a comparison of both sides. So here I am, super up close and personal. So again, matte and poreless Fenty foundation on this side. I definitely don't see a huge difference. Like, I feel like it could definitely pass as the same foundation all over my face. Right now, I'm not sure what side looks better than the other. I'm definitely gonna have to do concealer and powder and finish up my whole face, just finish my whole routine before I can decide. One thing I can say is that every foundation that I use looks terrible on my nose. I've never met a foundation that looks good on my nose, around my nose, or in between my brows. I definitely can tell you that I feel like the matte and poreless has already settled into the lines around my mouth, whereas this area is just a little bit more smooth with the Fenty, but the Fenty is still a little bit tacky. It's still not 100% dried down, so that could just be because it hasn't dried yet. Maybe it will settle there as well. So right now I'm quickly gonna go ahead off camera. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my face, make sure I use the even amount of products on both sides. I'm gonna set them both evenly and everything like that, and then I'll be back to check in with you guys and tell you guys like my final thoughts. Well, not my final thoughts yet, because I will be doing some check-ins throughout the day to kind of see how both sides of the foundation are holding up, but I will be back after just to let you guys know like how everything applied and if any foundation is looking better than the other one. So I will be right back. Okay, so I just got back from doing the rest of my face, and I'm not kidding you guys. I literally can barely tell a difference on what foundation is on what side. Granted, it hasn't been on for that long. I started around 1:15 and it is now 1:56, and I just finished up the rest of my face. I did my makeup exactly like how I normally would, just the two different foundations, just like I mentioned, to ensure that if anything goes wrong, I know it is the foundation. It's not like a different primer or anything like that. Looking at my face right now with everything all done, I seriously cannot tell the difference. I think once everything was set and concealed and everything like that, they look so good on both sides. Like I mentioned in the close-up, my pores are just a little bit more prominent on the Fenty side, but I don't think it makes any claim to smooth out pores. I'm not necessarily sure, whereas like the matte and Poreless literally claims to be poreless. So I do like that a little better there. Something else I still am seeing is that the Maybelline is settling into my smile line, whereas the Fenty one hasn't done that yet, but a lot of foundations tend to do that. But seriously, off of initial review and initial first impression, I think they look exactly the same. I think that the Maybelline one is a really great dupe for the Fenty one, a great alternative. They aren't exactly the same, so I hate to call it a dupe because I'm sure the ingredients and the consistencies, like everything like you guys saw, are different. But so far the Maybelline one is a really great alternative, but I don't want to jump to conclusions too fast. I am going to be doing a kind of wear test to see how they perform, because initially, in most cases, foundations do tend to look good when you first apply them, when they're freshly set, freshly applied. You guys know it really is up to kind of like the wear test and the wear time and kind of how they're going to be holding up on the face. And also, very quickly before I leave to do another video, I think it is important to do a flash test just to see if any of these foundations flash back, or if you can see like a huge difference when I use flash. So I'm just going to put my finger up like this so I know that this is the side that the Fenty foundation is on, just so I don't get confused. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and insert the picture right here so you guys can see, but I'm pretty sure the side where my finger's up, where the Fenty foundation is on, is a little bit more ashy looking and has a little bit more of a white cast to it. It's definitely not a huge noticeable difference, but if you look at that compared to the other side of my face, I feel like the other side of my face just kind of kept a little bit more of the natural tone, a little bit more of that warmer skin color. So right now I'm just gonna hop off camera, film some more videos, and do some stuff before I come back for my next check-in. And then once we get to the final check-in, I will wrap you guys up with like my final thoughts of this video. So it is now almost 3 o'clock. It is 2:58 and I just finished filming another video. I'm sorry it got a little bit dark. My extra light died back there, but I just wanted to show you guys how the foundation is doing. So now I think I applied it around 1:15, so it's been about almost 2 hours, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, but I'm just gonna kind of get close and show you guys how the foundation's doing from just like me inspecting it before I started recording. I think everything looks super smooth and really good. The matte and Poreless is really sinking into my smile lines right here, whereas this area where I put the Fenty on the side is so nice and smooth, and there's absolutely no sinking into my lines. Maybe a little bit around my mouth right here, but this is usually like a huge trouble area for me, and I'm only seeing that line on the side of my matte and Poreless. And like I said, my left cheek is more problematic. As you guys can see, I have a lot more texture than this side. So I don't want to say that the Fenty is that much more full coverage, just because I know the side of my matte and Poreless, I do just have some texture issues, but I think that they both look really good. This line I kind of get in a bunch of different foundations, so I'm not mad at it, but I just wanted to point out that for that being such a huge issue for me all the time, I am not seeing that on this side with the Fenty foundation in comparison. So it is just about 6 o'clock. I'm about to head out to class right now, but I just came in the bathroom to take a look at my face, and I figured I would check in with you guys because it's been another couple of hours. Seriously, I really don't see any difference. I think both of the foundations are holding up very well. The one thing that I do see different is that I'm a little bit more shiny on the Fenty Beauty side. I do feel like that tends to happen more than on the matte and Poreless side. This definitely keeps me just a little bit more matte throughout the day, but I think that's the only difference that I'm seeing. I'm not really sure if you guys can tell a difference. And I'll just give you guys a really extreme close-up. This is the matte and Poreless side right here. I hope you guys can see. And then this is the Fenty side. I think color-wise, the Fenty one, it doesn't like oxidize like orange. It just gets like a little bit like a shade darker. So I think it just like is a little bit darker than the matte and Poreless, but we're really just testing the performance. The color really doesn't matter. But overall, I think it looks like I still have the same foundation on. I still think both sides look awesome. I still think they look pretty much identical. Like I seriously don't see much of a difference other than those smaller things that I mentioned earlier and previously. But now I'm gonna head out to class, and maybe since I'll be out and about, maybe I will see like a little bit more of a difference. Who knows? But I will check in with you guys in another couple of hours when I get back from class. Hey guys, so it is now 8:55-ish. It's almost 9 o'clock, but I just got back from class. I just got back from walking and sweating and stuff like that, so I figured it's definitely a perfect time to do a check-in. And I think this is going to be my last check-in of the night, and I'm going to be kind of wrapping up my thoughts and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys can see, I still think both foundations look good. I think that they both look really similar. Like I mentioned previously, I think the Fenty side is just a little bit more dewy and almost more natural looking, not greasy or shiny or anything like that, just a little bit more of a natural glow, whereas besides my highlight, the matte and Poreless definitely kept me a lot more matte. So this is how it looks after about 8 hours of wear. Like I said, I think they look super similar, just a couple little differences here and there, but I definitely think that the matte and Poreless really holds up to the Fenty, if it's not even a little bit better in my personal opinion, which I'm really happy that this is how it turned out, because the matte and Poreless is like seriously so much cheaper, and it's really like almost identical to the Fenty. Also, let me know if you guys want to see like any other showdowns. I do have ones in mind for like a concealer and a powder as well. I think that will be fun to do to kind of continue the series. So definitely let me know if you guys want to see more of that, and any like request any of the two products that you guys want to see showing down together as well. That is going to complete this foundation showdown and the wear test. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and seeing the comparison of the two foundations. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any of my future videos. And of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye!